What's going on? This is the first video on a vlog style channel that I'm doing. I'm going to be building a PC that I've been working on for about 2-3 years. I got it about 4 years ago, put it together, and it stopped working, so it's been just an on-off struggle. Recently I bought a whole bunch of parts, so I'm going to strip it down, the old build I'm going to take it all the way down. The only thing I'm keeping from it is the power supply. That's going to be a Corsair 650 bronze that's going to be powering everything. It should be just enough electricity for everything that I'm needing today. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Just showing you guys the little multi-tool I got going on here real quick before we kick things off. We're going to start by taking off the graphics card, pulling out the RAM, and then we're going to disconnect all these cables. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Start by, I'm going to try to keep my hands out of the way. There's two little clips on the RAM, top and bottom, and I'll show you those when I get the motherboard out. These are really old Ballistic Sports. I think they're, I want to say they're 2 gig. I want to say they're 2 gig a piece. So next we're going to go ahead and disconnect the power cable to the motherboard. Or the SATA from the hard drive. And then this board is so old, none of these really lock anymore. They just kind of get wedged in there. Come on. Okay. We're going to come back to that one. Okay. So that top one was the power to the chip. This is the power to the board. Come on. There we go. The lock was really stuck. Next we're going to go ahead and pull off the bottom headers. That's just stuff like the speakers, the power cable, everything like that. And then we're going to go ahead and disconnect this very bottom header. That is the audio header. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going ahead and pulling all of my cables. Oops. Forgot to disconnect the power to the graphics card. So next we're pulling all of our cables out. Right. So, on the motherboard, there are 2 clips up at the top, right here, and down at the bottom of where the graphics card's plugged in, or where the RAM plugged in. These things sat just like this. So whenever you put one in to install it, you're gonna, well, I guess I can show that whenever we install. So, as you can see, we have no more cables anywhere connecting. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to loosen up our graphics card mount. And that's a screw right at the back here. We're going to try our best not to drop our screws. We have a nice little magnetic tray that is hidden behind the router. Here's that nice little tray that I was talking to you guys about. So now that we got this disconnected, the only thing that's holding it in is this lock right up there at the top. So you go ahead and release it, and it'll drop out. Here's the graphics card. Old graphics card. I'm going to set this over off to the side for now. All of these components are going to be boxed up and recycled at some point. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and start pulling is the motherboard. Now I am going to do a full takedown of this case because I am going to be deep cleaning it. It is exceedingly nasty from an old living situation that I used to be in. But I'm not going to gross anybody out with the details of that. Let it just suffice to say the case is gross. So there should be 4 bolts, screws, holding the motherboard to the case. If I could stop dropping them. So I would like to point out this is an ATX mid case, and the motherboard on it right there is an ATX mini. The board I'm going to be replacing it with is a full-size ATX board, so it'll be going on these outside mounting screws. I may need to pick up more mounting hardware. Oh, nope, there are 6 on the small one. I did miss 2 screws. Now, just for convenience sake for me, I did get a Wi-Fi board. That's because I do not have the funds at the moment to run any sort of Ethernet cable through my house. There we go. Got that last one out. So I have a total of 7 mounting screws. Oops, I forgot to disconnect one of the case fans. Here is the old motherboard. Fancy, fancy, fancy. And now finally we're going to take a little walk around on the case real quick. Here's our front. Nice hidden grill right in there. There's plenty of space for airflow though. There is a dent in the top of the case that I do need to take care of. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about doing that. One unfortunate thing about this case is it did come with a plexiglass front and a metal backside to it, but I do not have those pieces any longer. So we are going to be making a little bit of a skeletonized build. I hope it looks cool by the time everything's said and done. But yeah, I got some preset wire ties so that hopefully cable management should not be a huge issue on this build. Alright guys, that should be all for now. If I need to say steel screws, I got 4 extra ones right there. But, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off now. Look at how dirty this case is. Yep. This is gonna be, I'm probably gonna make this whole thing a compilation video. I'm gonna take some shots of me cleaning this case out here in a minute. It's gonna be great. Alright, until then, I will see you guys next time. Alright, so I do have a few more components to take off before I can start washing it. Say hello to my cat. My partner's cat, Butters. My cat is currently being lazy and laying on my bed. So, we're going to take off this fan, the power supply, and my classic good old spinning drive. Got a bowl of soapy water that I'm going to use to clean up everything, and Butters. Alright, come on, buddy. I am not hurting him, I just kind of dragged him along. He is a ragdoll, he loves it. Alright. I'm going to start with this fan at the back here. All of the screws on this case are Phillips head. Now these are a significantly larger screw than the other mounting screws, so it should be no issue for me to recognize these screws. Plus, I'm pretty much putting them right back in after I get a good, nice wipe down of the whole case. The screwdriver I have is also very slightly magnetic. Supply. This is put in just by thumb screws. If you hear some errant noises, it's my cats. Boots. Here's Boots. This is my cat. Come on, buddy. He's a big old boy. I love him so much. So these last few parts that I'm taking down are gonna go right back in. Oops, come on, you cannot have my detergent water. That's for cleaning up the PC. Come on, buddy. That is going to be one issue of running this as a skeletonized build, though. Ooh. Cats. They're all over the place. Oh no. Oh man. Oh. It would appear as though the hard drive I had is not savable. A whole bunch of pins have broken off. Alright. Here is our power supply. We're going to go ahead and set this also off to the side. Man, that sucks. That really sucks. Oh well. I wonder if there's a shop local to me that can get that repaired. We'll see. This loom is from the front of the case, which is, I believe, I'm not sure how this slides off. Give me just a moment. Okay, so the only option that I'm seeing is these bolts on the side here. Now this is a pair of really small bolts. That I just dropped one. But no worries, I found it. I wonder. That is most unfortunate. I have bought a case that I cannot remove the front cover of. Woe is me, indeed. No worries, that just means... No, there's gotta be a way this cover comes off. I wonder if it's these. Because that would just be too perfect. But it's fine. I'm not upgrading that fan, so I'm not worried about it. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say. So, I do have to deal with the unfortunate fact that this loom cannot be removed. But it's not the end of the world. So, all I'm going to do is just start wiping down the PC. Basically, I'm just using warm water with just a little bit of dish soap. Nothing extreme at all. Just trying to breathe a little bit of life back into an old case. So I don't know if anybody can really see from how far away my camera is, but there is an awful lot of dirt and gunk just stuck on this case. from, like I said, a couple years of existing already. I don't know if anybody can see this, but there is a lot of cat hair down in the power supply area. So I am really glad to have started doing this. So that's a little gross. So, I am very much a minimalist when it comes to style. That's why I'm so open to the kind of skeletonized build. Even though it may end up looking like not very well after a while. I do have a couple RGB components, but they should be very subtle compared to the, well, you'll see the design I was kind of going for whenever it's finished up. And right now I'm just trying to get as much of the dust and like stuck on hair up and off of this thing as much as I can. Because, you know. And right now I'm just tucking this wire back there. That way as little water as possible can get in there. Sucky butters. And I believe the case is a Lian Cool 6000. However, yeah, we'll have quite a bit of 5-10 minutes. Yep, so we're going to go ahead and make sure these two guys are facing the same way, at about the same level. Well, yeah, go ahead and just pull it straight front to back, because there will be nothing there. Okay, So what about it just a little bit lower? And because I'm wanting the fan at the back of the case to push air out of the case, I'm going to orient it the same way as this fan, so that this fan is pulling from the front and this fan is pulling from the inside. And it is super helpful not to have a motherboard here blocking everything up. So I can just reach in from the back side of the case like so. And go ahead and start installing our fan. Now, later on when we get to the actual building phase, I may opt to move the fans around in order to better allow my AIO to work. Just trying my hardest to get the fans centered up on the mounting hardware. Every time I go to start torquing it, wants to slip on me, so I'm gonna leave it a little bit loose. That way I can set this one exactly where it needs to be. So that all the holes line up. Now I may opt to do a front mount on the AIO. It just depends on how the RGB is going to look. We just got one more little bolt here, and then this back fan is going to be fully up and in. Alright. So, our exhaust fan is now fully mounted. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab our power supply again. And since we know for certain that this is going to go back here, we can go ahead and get it lined up. Because I'm not one of those folks who wants to leave their power supply just hanging out wherever. Now I am seeing a hole here, a couple little holes, and some of those might be really nice for wiring stuff like the graphics card. So I'm going to keep an eye on where those holes are. They might be really nice and nifty for me. Oh. Now, one of the issues I'm running into just now with this case is it seems that the bolts want to lift up. I just realized I need to check which way the fan's facing. to make sure that I'm not mounting my okay, yes, the fan is on the bottom. Which is precisely where it needs to be in order to actually vent. Off the thumb screw that is notably shorter. That's going to be 1000% for my drive. However, yeah. All right, and with that, we're ready to start putting our test fit motherboard in. So this is going to be our ATX full-sized motherboard. The test fit board I'm using is an MSI Tomahawk 460. Okay, so this is a really good, really nice, really large board. Now, I am on a nice metal desk that is keeping me and all of my stuff grounded. I'm very fortunate to have this bare metal desk. So, here is our graphics card. Here's our LGA board. I'm going to go ahead and test opening this so I can know that I know how to. Okay. Oh, that is very nice. So, there's the guard. That's how it works. We set it, and we just hope we don't hear a crunch. We are also going to be bolting it down. So that is the way that our chip is going to go in. But this is just my test board. So we're going to go ahead and grab our Torx. Now it is a nice big chunky Torx. Now, I do need to do some research to figure out if I just did this the correct way. Because now, yeah, so it looks like it'll slide down under the pin. And I don't need to mess with the pin at all. So, without further ado, let's start testing our full-size APX board. Okay, so we do not need our little spacers. Either that, or I must put it in after the fan. No, I am just goofy and was not positioning it correctly. So, what is very nice about the full-size ATX with holding up the motherboard, I just have to push it. But to be honest, the fan keeps it held right where it needs to be for the moment. So, like I said, this is just a test fit. This board will be coming right back out whenever I get the rest of my parts in. Okay, there's screw number 1. Now we are pinching the drive just a little bit. I'm going to try to fix that. I'm not sure what is happening that's causing the drive to get pinched, or the motherboard to get pinched. But there we go. Screw number 2 is in. Now I am going to jump down to this bottom over here, this bottom corner, because I just want to make sure everything is fitting nice and comfortably, and nothing is giving us any issues. So this is going to cause me a little bit of frustration though, so just bear with me for one moment. Now, what I am noticing about these mounts is they're very nice to the assembler. They don't let you over torque. They just start spinning. And I'm noticing why I'm having issues. This is not a motherboard screw. So, dang. So it would appear as though I'm wanting for 2 more motherboard screws in order to make the full-size ATX work. So, good. And now we're just shoring up our motherboard, making sure we're nice and tight, not too tight though. Alright, so there's our test fit done. It does seem as though we're missing something. That something is going to be a couple of motherboard screws. So, well, got our test fit done. We need 1, 2, 3 more screws. This is what it's looking like. Do I only have 1 and not 2?